All right, thank you for staying with us on Citizen Weekend. And Coach, I will come to you, Coach Ouma, on the question of the technical deficits that were raised by the president of the National Olympic Committee, and that is Paul Tergat. And just to quote him, this is what he said exactly, that we urge the government to support local and international technical programs because that is where we are lacking.
Absolutely. Producing an athlete requires a huge teamwork that involves scientists, people who are involved with data analysts as well, just like myself. I was appointed going to Rio as a sports scientist and data analyst. Then we need other people like the physio, the medical team, the psychologists, the nutritionists as well. But if you see a team that went to Tokyo, went to Paris, didn't have a nutritionist and a psychologist in Paris, but though we had one in the year, but the list was really shrunk due to some technicalities, maybe through budget or something. So if we get support on the support staff around the athletes, that would be very good. And again, for us to produce well, we need other support from the government in terms of coaching, upskilling and education. This involves a lot. I'm very happy that through Athletics Kenya and National Olympic Committee of Kenya, I'm able to study sports to a high level, to a PhD level, which is very helpful as well, so you have knowledge as well. I hope this should roll out to other people as well, and if the government can come in support for that. Because people are talking of performance as an athlete, but people are not talking, just like in school or in university, people are not talking of the lecturers. So this support staff, the professionals, are very important to help nurturing this talent early now. For example, we have the sprinters, where our sprinters were outmatched, the Omanyala, running 10.79 and was a medal prospect. Unfortunately, due to some other deficits on the technicalities, we couldn't do that. Team event as well. We need to work on that one as well. The emergence of the youth, of the Chebet, the Wanyonyis as well. And with the need to identify talents from early enough, nurture them, for them to reach their full potential and do talent search beyond the traditional geographical and other cultural catchment areas as well.
All right, Muturi, I'll come to you now. This is what the president said, and he said our athletics is increasingly under encroachment from countries that have studied, learned, and perfected our skills to our detriment. Is that an accurate descriptor of what happened or what is happening?
I think it's time we came up and said what is really happening. All those are very nice things to say, and they sound very well thought out. But let me ask you something. This Citizen TV did a very big feature called Medals for Passport. I suggest people to go to YouTube and look for it. How we are draining talent. We can put all those things that everybody is saying, but if we are draining talent, 16-year-old girls, people like Yavi, they went at 16, people like Nora Jaruto, and other athletes also who come with special, what can I say, gifts, people like Julia Siago, who has been alone in the javelin. We are not investing in these people. Yes, we say we have structures in place, and I wish Barnaba was here because he's the chairman of the youth committee to explain to us how come somebody will be running for Kenya in February, Africa Youth, and then when they come to the World Championships, they are running for Qatar or they are running for Bahrain. There is the systems we have in place, all the way from the government to the federation, it's porous, and that is why we are wreaking talent to go to other countries. Yes, other people can come here and afford to pay our coaches, they can afford to pay for camps. Like if you go to Kapsabet, we have so many countries that have set camp in Kapsabet. We have the Chinese, we have the Bahrainis, Qataris, and so on and so forth. We are not saying, yes, it brings tough tourism. It's a means of earning the country, the forex. But why can't we do what they are doing at our backyard? Why is it that, yes, we will talk about how we are investing in sports, how we are investing in youth, how we are investing in things, but Coach Ouma will bear me witness. For example, how many gyms do we have to train people, specialists like field athletes and sprinters? Yet, we can see countries coming here and setting up long distance running camps. Yet, we cannot even have an exchange program with them. For example, look at Botswana, look at Zambia, Samukonga, look at all these, Resila Tebogos, Fanbule. All those people have benefited from the NWCA, Collegiate Circuit in America. The Botswanas, they have been able to send their people there. Why can't we do the same? Why can't we have these exchange programs? Because we have a system where we always say that, yes, we are going to do much, we are going to do much for sports. Then we go back and say, okay, then we see these individual athletes coming up. Then they go to the Olympics. Then we come and analyze their performance. Yet, we are not putting, yes, and I stand by my point. We are not getting the return on investment we need to get as far as sports in this country is concerned. As long as we continue paying lip service and only coming to sports when they have come and won, we set them banquets and all that, which is great. But look at it this way. If our gold medalist is getting 3 million shillings, which is good money according to the Kenyan standards, but you hear somebody like Mutila is getting 76 million shillings equivalent. If you hear Botswana, Letsile has been given a whole house, almost $1 million pura, which is like $75,000, we need to match our talk with our actions.
Okay.
As long as we don't do that, we'll continue having these people. And remember, as we progress from each and every single Olympics, these top athletes are continuing retiring. Okay. And you're not getting replacements. We need to reevaluate how we do a root and branch approach. And we stop just saying that, yes, we are doing this and we are doing that for sports. Okay.
All right, thank you for that, Mutwiri. We are now joined, as promised, by the National Olympics Committee of Kenya Secretary General Francis Mutuku on phone. Francis, I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to some of the contributions made by my two other panelists this evening. But listening to Mutwiri and listening to some of the speeches that were made at the celebratory breakfast, there has been a sense that while Kenya has performed exemplarily well, it could have done better. Your thoughts? Francis, can you hear me? Francis, can you hear me? All right, unfortunately. Francis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Good evening. We're joined by Francis Mutuku, Secretary General, National Olympics Committee of Kenya, on phone. Francis, while we celebrate the Olympic medals we secured in Paris, there seemed to be this sense that Kenya did not perform at its peak. Your thoughts?
Thank you very much. And I must say, we are very grateful that you are given this opportunity for a conversation around Olympics. We are grateful because we always say we want people to understand sports. Sometimes we feel not many people outside the sports fraternity really understand sports. I'll start by saying participation in Olympics is one of the most important career aspirations for every athlete. Out of the 7 billion people in this world, and millions of athletes, only 10,500 make it to the Olympics. In Paris 2024, the total number of athletes was 10,500. There are some countries just to get one athlete to qualify for the Olympics, that becomes a big celebration. And for us to have this year sent 76 athletes, that by itself is a reason to celebrate and a reason to be glad that Kenya was represented. Olympics, as much as it's professional, as much as competitive, it's also an opportunity for every country, and there are normally about 205 national Olympic committees coming together in celebration. Kenya has been privileged in the past because of its strength in athletics to do well, and this has gone on for years. As you heard the president of Athletics Kenya saying this was the third best performance, and therefore by all stretch of imagination, the performance of Team Kenya was very good. It's something we'd want as a country to celebrate, as a country to encourage our athletes, as a country, once we see them, just like they're celebrated outside this country. When the Kenyans are wearing the national colors, everywhere they'll tell you, everywhere they go, everywhere they meet. We went to Miramar City, which is the southern part of France, and the city came to a standstill to celebrate. They were not celebrating medals, they were celebrating the athletes. And I'm hoping that as a country we can start celebrating our athletes when they represent us, when they fly the flag, and when they perform. When we get medals, we should consider that as a bonus because it's a very competitive world. sport is becoming scientific. A lot of countries are investing. And when we talk of investing, I will share my thoughts, like Oma said, that you need to put in a lot of money. For example, the next Olympics are in LA 2028. If we really want to get medals, and we can easily get, then the investment has to start now. When we look at the very, very short run we give our athletes, giving them some training, some support 1 or 2 months before the Olympics, that's certainly not enough. The investment needs to start right now. If you look at the infrastructure in the country, we were struggling to get the athletics team to get a place to do trials. Again, as a country, we need to put more infrastructure. We've said that we are steeplechase powerhouse. Let's look at other sports which say they are powers, like Brazil in football, and look at the kind of infrastructure which is within that country. Look at the academies, look at the technology aspects, look at the industry around that to be able to support. So Kenya we benefited a lot from individual support, and right now a lot of federations are doing a lot of work under very, very strenuous circumstances. As a country, for what our sports brings us, we are not able to put as much as we should. Having our national anthem played 4 times at the Olympics, there is no thing which can equal to that particular investment. There is nothing which can equal to that particular brand positioning and country recognition. Seeing across the world people wearing wristbands of Kenya because they have been distributed by our top athletes. That's great. That is something to celebrate. As a National Olympic Committee, we are very proud of the athletes, the coaches, and the technical team around them. We are very proud of the work they put in, and the difficult circumstances, we choose to celebrate them as we prepare for LA 2038.
All right. Thank you for speaking to us this evening. That has been the Secretary General, the National Olympics Committee of Kenya, Francis Mutuku. I do, unfortunately, because of time, we can't go much further than that, but I do have to make arrangements to get you in studio, and thank you for taking our call this evening. Thank you, Mutwiri Mutwata, a sports journalist. Should I say veteran? Should I add veteran there?
Yes, sports journalist.
The sports journalist. We've also had joining us from Kisumu, Coach Ben Ouma, who was at the Olympics, coached gents and ladies in the middle distance, and if you ask me, did a spectacular job. Congratulations, Team Kenya. But as with everything, there's always something to learn and improve on. All right, the Sanctuary of Love